Hi all, this is VC. In today's class, we will discuss about penicillin and who invented it. Coming to the concept, Alexander Fleming is noted with penicillin. Sir Alexander Fleming was a Scottish physician who worked on bacteria, and he is very eminent in the field of bacteriology, and he was regarded as a careless physician, and he used to do activities in his lab, and one fine day working on his culture of bacteria which causes diseases, and all of a sudden he went for his vacation. It is 2 weeks vacation period, and he left the cultures there in the lab and went off, and after returning he found that in one of the cultures or the petri dishes, he observed that there are some spores of a little green mold in the culture plates, and he observed that the presence of mold prevented the growth of bacteria, and it also killed many of these bacteria which was causing disease. So here what he observed, when he came back from vacation, he saw that in some of his petri dishes which were used for culture were found with spores of little green molds. Little green molds were observed, and he also observed that these molds prevented the growth of the bacteria, and he later concluded that this mold is having characters which can kill bacteria, and nowadays we call this mold as penicillin, which is observed or obtained from the fungus Penicillium notatum. So the mold which was cultured or which has prevented the growth of bacterial culture in the plates where fungus growth, and this fungus is nowadays we call it as penicillin, which is a very widely used antibiotic. So Sir Alexander Fleming was the one who initiated the study of penicillin, but later in 1931 he concluded the work, and later his assistants or his researchers started, and what we use nowadays as penicillin was here their initiative. Coming to vaccine, who is related to vaccine? When we talk about vaccine, we will remember the great scientist Edward Jenner, a physician who discovered vaccine for smallpox in the year 1798, and several diseases including cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox, and hepatitis can be prevented by vaccination. So if we observe, when we talk about vaccine, we talk about Edward Jenner. Vaccine means vacca in Latin, so it means from cow, and this was initiated or started, and he was the one who is responsible for vaccination. And nowadays if we observe, several diseases including cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox, and hepatitis can be prevented by vaccination. So when vaccine is developed, we can have a clear idea that we are safe from certain diseases. And coming to the antibodies, how they are produced, when a disease carrying microbe enters our body, the body produces antibodies to fight the invader. So whenever a disease causing microbe enters the body, our body has a separate mechanism in which we have to control the invaders. The white blood cells will act as the policemen of the body, and they control the entry of these microorganisms which cause harm to our body. And therefore what happens, the body prepares antibodies. The body prepares antibodies, and our body remembers how to fight the microbes if it is entered again. Once when the microbes enter into our body prepares antibodies, and these antibodies are remembered by the body cells, as our body has that memorizing capability. And when again these microbes enter into our body, they will fight them, as they already know what antibody has to be released. And if dead or weakened microbes are introduced into a healthy body, the body fights and kills the invading bacteria by producing suitable antibodies. So in the same way, if dead or weakened microbes are introduced into a healthy body, so the body is very healthy and it can fight and kill the invading bacteria by producing suitable antibodies. And these antibodies remain in the body and we are protected from the disease causing microbes forever. And once the antibodies are formed, these antibodies will remain in our body until we are alive, and these antibodies will protect our body from the disease causing microbes until we are. And this is the way how vaccine works. And we might have seen the advertisement on TVs and newspapers regarding protection of children against polio and the pulse polio program. So what ads we will see in a year, it will be twice the program which is called as pulse polio program. Here what in the ads they will give many essential ads related to the pulse polio program. Why it is very important? Polio is such a disease, it will cause effect directly on the motor nerves, which will collapse the ability to move. So this is the reason why we are taking care and creating such awareness among people to create awareness on polio and its impact on us. And it is very, very essential to protect all children against these diseases. So it is our responsibility to protect our children from such disease causing organisms, and therefore it is very necessary to make vaccines available in the nearby hospitals such as polio drops and maybe some other vaccines. Actually, if you see, polio drops are vaccine. A worldwide campaign against smallpox has finally led to its eradication from the most parts of the world. If we see, polio drops actually are vaccine, and we will discuss about polio in another video which gives a complete detail about how polio is caused and how we can and who are the scientists involved in producing the polio vaccine and all. So coming to smallpox. Smallpox is a very dreadful disease, and due to the worldwide campaign which was conducted and created awareness, it finally brought fruitful results in eradicating it from most parts of the world. So by the awareness among the people, we can create the awareness and we can control the disease, and this is the way how we can reduce the impact of such microorganisms to affect among us, and the world can be free harmful microorganisms. Nowadays, if we observe, there is a big issue running out like COVID-19 or coronavirus. So it is very easy to avoid it. If you maintain the standards which were given by World Health Organization, we can control it. Maintaining proper distance and having proper sanitization and all the measures, we can eradicate the effect of virus on our body. And nowadays, vaccines are made on large scale from microorganisms to protect humans and other animals from several diseases. See here, once again we will go through this. As we know that vaccines are the result of Edward Jenner, who did from cowpox, and later it was done on large scale, and finally now we are able to create vaccine using microorganisms, and this helps in protecting us and animals from several diseases. Polio drops which are given twice a year are vaccine, and we have to create awareness among people regarding pulse polio program so that they can understand the importance of pulse polio vaccination, and this will help the people to have their kids free from polio. And coming to smallpox, it was once a very dreadful disease, but now it is lost or it is away from many parts of the world due to the worldwide campaign which was created or the awareness which. So that's all for now. This is about vaccination and penicillin along with our beloved physician Sir Alexander Fleming.